What the hell?
I'm sure that you've seen a lot of memes get birthed on the internet, but have you ever seen one die? Because you might be about to witness the death of a meme. Right now, if you search for the Backrooms, you're going to see a lot of different videos, a lot of fun little projects. But already, even though the movie hasn't come out, the announcement of an A24 theatrical release Backrooms movie has watered down the search results. You don't see nearly the number of amazing creative works that are sitting out there waiting for you, waiting for a viewer to go on a scary and crazy journey with. Instead, you're seeing announcement videos, hype videos. You're seeing, well, what you're going to see soon is nothing but red carpet interviews and promos and, well, of course, reviews. I'm going to do one myself someday. And when that happens, all of this amazing content is going to be gone. And this is the stuff that made the Backrooms what it is today. So today on the Found Footage broadcast, we're going to dive into 9 of the coolest must-see Backrooms movies on YouTube. But before we do, roll the intro. Here we go. So let's go back to where this all started. Somebody posted an image of their basement that they were about to renovate, and it looked crappy. But there was something about those yellow walls and that yellow carpet, something that triggered a memory in all of us of having to stand around a boring basement waiting for our parents to finish doing some goddamn thing. And then someone put an amazing caption underneath and went something like this: if you're not careful and you no-clip out of reality in the wrong areas, you'll end up in the Backrooms, where it's nothing but the stink of old moist carpet, the madness of mono yellow, the endless background noise of fluorescent lights at maximum hum buzz, and approximately 600 million square miles of randomly segmented empty rooms to be trapped in. God save you if you hear something wandering around nearby, because it sure as hell has heard you. Yeah, I got a whistle in there. That was fun. From this jumping off point, many people made incredible pieces of work. I'm going to cover 9 significant works from amazing artists, including Kane Pixels. We'll talk a little bit about his products that are still sitting on YouTube for the moment. Now, we've seen it before where this stuff gets pulled down. So again, watch it while you can. But let's start right now with somebody else. TheMrLeonasti, the Backrooms tape 1 and 2. You get the sense with these tapes that this is a guy who spent a lot of time after hours in big buildings that are mostly shut down at night. So with him, you tour a lot of fascinating architecture, all rendered in loving detail. Everything looks hyper realistic and tangible, and it's all just lit in a truly artful way. In a lot of ways, like touring an art gallery and seeing some really interesting sculptures and art installations. It's very cool looking. There's also a plot that I didn't care about, but I was just there for the amazing visuals and dizzying effects here and there. This is a must-see and a great place to start. AR animations. If huge pieces of architecture and enormous structures give you a general sense of unease and intimidation, this one's for you. While the resolution's a little low, everything else about this journey is a desperate attempt to find a way out of this dizzying space. He creates spaces that are just not only stunning, but oftentimes just impossible. They're impossible spaces, and yet there you are staring at them. The stuff will bend your mind in some really interesting ways. Complex Research, he recently renamed his channel. It used to be Async. This is as close to a fan film of Kane Pixels backroom videos as you can get. He uses the same company name and the same general settings and uses the same monster mythos that Kane Pixels uses and just applies his own spin on it. But what I really appreciate about this is that it's a tightly focused narrative on one person's journey through this bizarre space and his encounters with other characters in an attempt to get to the bottom of how any of this works and how to recover their lost comrades. This is an adventure, and it's a character-driven one, so this one's got a coherent plot, and I really appreciate it for that. GreenVfx. This is just a kid playing with a clicky-clacky, cheap as hell video camera trying to kill some time. And I really like this one because it felt a lot like a kid's perspective on the Backrooms. Now, everything from the sound design to the little choices like the implication of these spaces being places designed to make adults comfortable and kids bored. I don't know, it all just struck a chord with me. It felt like tapping into some memory I couldn't quite place. Now, granted, as a piece of entertainment, for most grown-ups, this might not resonate, but I think a certain viewer is really going to be into this one. It's going to seem familiar somehow, especially if you were a kid in the 90s or growing up, your parents dragged you out to places and had nothing for you to do once you got there. This feels familiar, it feels uncomfortable, and even the story, it's a little overly simplistic. It's just, oh no, a monster, but the vibe is there. Joseph Weller. This one starts off as a basic Backrooms movie with the guys in yellow suits and a brand new corporate conspiracy company called X1 or X-Zone, I don't know. But it slowly starts to take a turn as the geography starts reshaping itself around the explorers and space itself becomes the enemy. Gradually you start to think that maybe what's happening isn't real at all. This one gets meta, and I can see a lot of people debating what the ending actually means, but at the same time, strictly speaking, this is a creature feature. There's chase scenes after chase scenes after chase scenes with sci-fi craziness and existential dread and a handful of roaring monsters. It's a unique combo. It's pretty cool to check out. Return to render. Okay, I'm just going to say it. This is silly. I mean, this is the kind of Backrooms video you just can't take seriously because it's not meant to be serious. It's just meant to be a goofy romp through a bunch of traps and tricks, and basically you're just watching minions get bonked on the head. But if you were ever curious about what Gen Z loves, this is it. This is your shut off your brain, silly, goofy nonsense in bright primary colors that kids love to watch and giggle at, and that represents a pretty big artistic movement among young creators. Now, you might not love it, but on a purely internet culture level, it's significant and it's worth mentioning.
Just stop! They're coming! Leave him! He's slowing you down! Over there!
Reverse Logic. This is a very promising series of Backrooms videos. They were created over a series of a few years, and you can really see the development of the artist's skill levels as he goes on. It starts off with a pretty standard Kane Pixels ripoff content and gradually becomes more and more unique and creative and goes in some interesting directions. The voice acting improves as well, and you get the sense that this is all going somewhere, that there is a destination. I think this guy's got a vision. The only thing I want to caution you on with this guy, though, is some shaky cam, man. That camera shakes like crazy. So if you're prone to seasickness, this guy's going to test your limits with those camera movements. Otherwise, totally worth checking out, especially just the more recent stuff. You can see his development come along. Editing CJ here. Despite being a movie god, it turns out I'm not perfect. It's at this point in the edit that I started to realize, I kind of mixed up a few of these. I mean, not completely, of course. I mean, in broad strokes, I haven't really made any major errors, but I definitely got a few details of these various things transposed. So if you catch these errors that I made because I watched 20 different Backrooms movies in a row, go ahead and jump in the comments and tell me what a big fat idiot I am, because hey, that's the way it goes. What can I tell you? Found footage bin. This is a relatively recent entry to the Backrooms fandom, and I think it's something really special. It sort of takes the concept of the Backrooms and deconstructs it, and in a very literal sense. Everything slowly comes apart at the seams as our protagonist makes his way through this strange land that gets increasingly stranger and stranger as he goes along, until the very end we get a kind of a satisfying Twilight Zone ending. Does anybody know what a Twilight Zone ending is anymore? How old am I? Anyway, this one I really appreciated, and I super hope that the guy who made it makes a lot more, because there was a philosophy behind it, a central thought that he wanted to see through and a point he was trying to make. That's the heart of every decent piece of art. It's an entertaining and short watch, but worth checking out. And finally, of course, Kane Pixels, the Backrooms, his Backrooms series that originally went on YouTube and inspired so many others. This is the first really big hit series for the Backrooms meme, the Backrooms concept. And it's got it all: corporate conspiracy, random monsters, and the general public falling through their basement floors into an infinite maze of yellow hallways with buzzing fluorescent lights. Hooray! He also does a really good job at creating the sense that there's more to the mystery of this place than has been explained, because everything we're seeing seems to have happened back in the 90s, and who knows what the present day status of the Backrooms might be in his world. So it's compelling stuff, it's worth a watch, and honestly, I'm not really sure how an A24 movie is going to do any better. I mean, these shorts, they're fantastic as it is.
Sorry, can you repeat that? Marvin?
That's not a person.
What is that?
That is not a fucking person!
Now that's the 9, but there's some honorable mentions that I want to mention. Smooth. Animacores ask the question, what if the Backrooms was super spooky and edgy? Frag 2 focuses on endless hallways and epic chase scenes. Lost in the Hyperverse just attempts to make the craziest environments possible seem ominous. Gate Sync Research takes the slow and shadowy soft edge approach. Cupdead goes with clear edges and running in fear down long hallways. And GeoDio26, an early favorite of mine actually, makes you wonder who's carrying the camera in the first place, if anyone. Now, linked in the description is a playlist with all of these videos that I've mentioned, and probably a few more by the time I publish. I can't help but add more. There's tons out there, but very, very quickly we're getting to the point where it's a you gotta know somebody kind of thing. The algorithm's not going to give you these Backrooms videos in the future, so save this video, put it in a playlist, or save the playlist, it's in the description, and support independent creators out there, because independent cinema is what found footage is all about. This is the genre for people who just have a dream and want to bring it into reality. Even if that dream's a nightmare, hey, we love you for it. If you want to hear more about found footage movies, or just want to get that A24 movie review as soon as it comes out, I'll be doing it. So subscribe right here and check out the channel. I've got a ton of these videos out right now. And that's it. I'll see you next time, you monsters.
This is Birkin.